Hello, everybody, and welcome to SDVoE Presents Face-to-Face AV with Justin Kennington. That's me, your host, Justin Kennington. I'm here at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida, with Thomas Tang, the founder and president of Apantac. We're here for InfoComm 2023. I know you're busy setting up your booth. I'm busy watching people set up my booth. But we're getting this out before InfoComm because we wanted to highlight some cool new products that you have. Maybe you want to let's show them right now. Let's dive right into the product, right?
Sure.
We're going to talk about what these are, but these are SDM modules.
That's right. So we're showing this whole SDM new product line here. We have the SDM modules. This is a small, and this is a large, as you can see. So this one is a point-to-point, as well as a no scaler, no multi-viewer, but this one has multi-viewer, fast switching, and also video wall capabilities on these. So as you can see, one's large, one's small.
So these are SDVoE receivers that slide into a display. Why don't we talk about what SDM is then? How did we get here?
Well, so SDM, as you said, slides right in the side of the display, right? SDM is an Intel platform, stands for Smart Display Module.
Mm-hmm.
So it was originally designed to put in actually PCs on the side of the display.
Okay, right, digital signage. I've got a big TV. I want a PC running in the back of it to show my flight schedule or the weather, whatever it is today.
Exactly.
Okay.
Wayfinder, all that stuff, right? So then we started building interface products. So SDVoE is one of the receivers that goes in with the SDM interface into a display.
Mm-hmm. Why don't we take it back to the history? Because I know that before SDM there was OPS.
Yes.
And I know Apantac was big into OPS, and that's kind of how you got your foot in the door with these SDM modules. So show us an OPS.
Here's an OPS. So OPS stands for Open Pluggable Systems or Specifications. So as you can see, it's a box that has a proprietary connector, opposed to SDM that has a off-the-shelf connector, like a PCIe.
Part,
yeah,
right? Okay.
PCIe connector. So so these boxes are now, these are easier to make, easier to manufacture, and really much smaller.
Yeah. So OPS was out on the market for a number of years. Finally, it just became time for an upgrade, right? To manufacturability.
Right.
Is that a higher speed connector, I'm guessing?
Well, so OPS topped out initially at 1080p.
Okay, there you go.
And then, so in the process of moving to 4K, Intel worked on the SDM.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still an OPS market. So there are actually the next generation of OPS does support 4K.
Mm-hmm.
But, because of the upgradability of SDM, because SDM is actually could support 8K.
Wow. Okay.
So that's kind of SDM is moving. It's like the main target of Intel.
Right. And I understand. I mean, Intel sort of clamped down on some things as they moved from OPS to SDM. I understand that the basic license term, tell me if I get something wrong here, because I'm not the expert, but the basic license says to make an SDM product, you have to have an Intel CPU on the board.
That's correct.
But you don't have an Intel CPU on your board. I think how did you get here?
Well, because mainly because we have some legacy customers that we have to migrate them from OPS to SDM. So these major display manufacturers that we did a lot of work for them on OPS, and they need to be able to move to 4K.
Right.
So they made a decision to move to 4K with SDM.
So you have the big display manufacturers pushing Intel to say, "Come on, we need somebody building these connectivity modules."
Yes.
We're not trying to put AMD CPUs on here. We just want connectivity. It's
That's
not about that.
Absolutely no AMD. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So some of the big guys that I know that I've seen, I'm going to talk about what I've seen in public.
Sure.
Don't tell me any of your secrets. But I know that your products were featured at last ISE and maybe even last InfoComm in the Panasonic booth, showing off, among other things, this SDVoE connectivity directly to their displays.
Oh, yeah. So we did these AR displays, immersive, the whole environment. Yeah, we worked with both Panasonic as well as Sharp NEC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, it's a lot of work to try and integrate a technology like SDVoE or any of the other connectivities, HD-based T or other things, to try and do that in every display model that you have. I think it's much simpler for them to build this slot in.
That's right.
And let your one product serve all of them.
Exactly, because there's so many different formats going on right now, but there is one standard, which is the SDM, right? So if you put this in your display, you're open to everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Talk a little bit about, I'm kind of working backwards here, I feel like, but besides what we just talked about, easy connectivity, what's the other benefits to now having a display that directly connects to, let's say, an SDVoE network?
Well, so besides easy connectivity, you don't need an extra wall wart on the wall and all that, right?
There you go, yeah.
It's a very clean installation. And in addition to that, is really, once you're on the network, you're now a discoverable device, right? Even your display is discoverable.
Oh.
You know exactly where your display is and how they're connected, right? So,
is there any communication that goes on between your card and the display so that display gets somehow represented specially on the network?
No, okay. There's not, except we do tell the display who we are.
Okay, there you go.
So there's a vendor ID and product ID that tells but so that particular technology also allows us to talk to other SDVoE vendors. We provide them the vendor ID, the product ID.
Right.
So now interoperability becomes very easy.
Right. And that becomes, that's sort of part of the SDVoE story, right?
Yes.
That interoperability allows you and Apantac to focus on this segment of the market that you have this rich experience in.
Yes.
And allowing the end customer, the system designer, the system integrator, to choose, whatever other components they want to make the complete system.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's the beautiful part of this story, right? Panasonic displays and Apantac modules and someone else's.
And since it's already IP, you don't really need to do a lot of work to be, part of the IT ecosystem, right?
Right. Highly scalable and flexible, and I think there's just something in the AV guy's part that just likes that cleanness of the installation. No extra boxes and wall warts and HDMI cables falling out.
Right. So all that, in addition to that, is you also allow central maintenance. People can set up the room, set up the experience before they arrive, right? So you don't have to send an AV guy. My boss is coming. Got to get the room ready, right?
Yeah. Well, depending on the boss, you might still send someone. But
yeah.
I know. I once visited a conference room for I won't name names, but for a very, very large tech company. And it was the very, very boss's conference room. We weren't even there to look at it. I was there to look at something else. But the tech said, would you mind just coming and giving this room a once over? Because if something goes wrong here, that's a career changing moment for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah. Well, IP is something that everybody had to get comfortable with.
Yeah.
But I think it's been out long enough. And then, with all that technology out there now, then the people are comfortable with remote troubleshooting, remote maintenance, all that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to get this video out the day before InfoComm, so I hope you'll stop by the SDVoE booth at 4453 to learn about what we do. Thomas, tell them where we can find you.
You can find us at 4201.
Just right around the corner, too. You can't miss it. Thomas, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for watching.
And thank you.